What is spiritual awakening and why is it so powerful? Spiritual awakening is, in essence, the deconstruction of all thoughts related to everything about this and that. The individual consciousness that seems to be separate from everything else, and the everything else that seems to be separate from the individual consciousness. And I'm saying it that way on purpose so that you understand that there is actually no separation between the me and everything else. And over time, the practices involved in waking up and also in just knowing how to be a human being are what teaches you that you already have an experience of being awake. You already have an experience of the eternal present moment of now, and you already have an experience of infinity, because there really are no limits. They're all thought imposed limits. And so when we're starting out on our spiritual journey, everything looks very complicated, and we're really looking for an end to suffering. And as we go along in the spiritual journey, it becomes apparent to us that first we don't even know how to be a human being, and then we don't really know what spiritual awakening means. We only know what we've been taught by other people and their religions and their views and their books and their ancient texts and their scriptures, etc. So we have two tasks in front of us when we try to spiritually awaken. The first is to figure out our way around this mechanism that we call the human being. And then the second is to figure out, okay, what does awakening actually mean and how do I get there? When I begin working with someone, I typically look for what do they understand about themselves already? Do they understand that 90 to 95%, some would say 99%, of all the thoughts that are spontaneously occurring in their minds are actually false? Oh my goodness, did I say that most of your thoughts are false? Yes, indeed, including the thought that there is an I that is the center of all these thoughts and all these sense experiences. So yes, all thoughts are false, almost. Let's put it this way. Representations of reality, the sense reality that makes up our experience, the sense reality is represented in thoughts, and those thoughts can largely be accurate. But anything other than sense reality that's represented by thought is probably non-sense, or not based in the senses. So it's a thought based on a thought based on a thought, and before long I'm building thought castles in the air, and they're usually crumbling on my head and making my life miserable. So to begin with, I teach people about their thoughts and how to work with their thoughts to determine which thoughts are relatively true to sense experience and which thoughts are definitely false, just made up assumptions. If people already know how to do that, or maybe I've taught them how to do that, the second thing I teach people to look for is, well, what are your emotions? Do you know how to express them? Because most of us are not taught how to express our emotions. We don't even know how to label them. We don't even know that emotion is composed of physical sensations, and their emotions are really a subset of those physical sensations. So once I teach people to name the physical sensations that compose the emotions they think of as sad, mad, scared, or glad, or maybe at peace, then the next thing is that people need to know where those emotions come from. Are they coming from some thought-created reality that isn't actually sensible, in other words, nonsense thought reality, or are they coming from actual felt and emotion that comes from false assumptions or nonsense is useless and creates drama and difficulty in your life? Whereas emotion that comes as a response to sensory experience can often be quite useful and move your life along in a great way. Bessel van der Kolk called emotion energy in motion. And I like that because it says, oh, emotion can be useful, but it's only useful if you determine the source of it. In the awakening process, once people understand basically how to vet their thoughts and source their emotions or track them to their source, then we also look at what are your ideas about reality? And what are your ideas about the divine or the absolute or God or Brahman or whatever you want to call it? And where do those ideas come from? And then we also want to look at, are you aware of all your physical sensations? Because your physical sensations are the basis by which you experience reality. And so you want to become quite aware of what's happening in your body and what your body is experiencing, because that's the key to your later spiritual experiences. You're going to feel them all via the mechanism of your body. So once I've done all that with people, I'm really looking at that point to teach them meditation of various kinds and mindfulness. And mindfulness is really just another form of meditation, because meditation is moving attention and awareness away from thought, where it seems to be over here on this side of the brain. We're going to teach you how to move attention away from thought and back to all the sensations that awareness is intertwined with. And with all those components, then we can proceed to help you to understand what awakening actually is. So there's today's introduction to what Simply Awake is about. I'm making a lot of these videos right now because I'm learning to make videos, as you can probably tell, and because I'm just an ordinary human being. I'm not AI generating these videos, and because I want you to know that ordinary human beings take pauses, make mistakes, and sometimes the words come out in orders in which they're not aware that they'll be coming out. Sometimes the words come out of my mouth in a way that doesn't seem very organized to me or you. I'm going to learn over time to do better with that. So I hope you'll bear with me and understand that this is for real human beings who really want to wake up to the reality that they are God itself. Thank you for listening. Have a lovely day, and love from me to you. Bye.